cooking. A little cooking.
Which also they
Die
tried
Lehre
the week
bringt
I'm
uns
calling it
voran.
week, but like the add-on.
Empfang
Meine
uns.
Schwestern waren als Letzte hier.
Yeah, I think.
Doch sie gaben ihre Heimat und ihr Band auf. Wenn wir die Geister hier beruhigen, kehren sie vielleicht zurück. Die Waldläufer-Generalin war standhaft. Die Friedensstifterin wahrte den Frieden. Welchen Pfad wählt ihr?
Ist noch
Obviously, we can't see it, it's not in our round, so we're looking for the team to see it, and then we only saw the diamond. So we didn't see where the X was, so we're hoping that the add-on will show us. We know that the first laser beam is going to start on the boss, and then you just follow the design of the horseshoe shape.
Not sure it worked. I didn't see anything.
Symbols. I was like, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I think they lost it. Okay, so this is the way I was like doing a listen-in, and the way it's kind of like, well, obviously it's a private aura, and we're all in these like different like realms. Like there's the red, blue, and normal round, but we're in the normal round now, and then there's of course like 5 people get shifted down to the red round, 5 people get sent to the blue round, and everyone else is in the normal round. We only saw 2 out of the 5 symbols, so that means that somebody in the other groups or in other rounds had to fill in those systems. But the way
Ein
it works is
williges
that
Opfer
what
wurde
I think I heard, and maybe somebody in chat can confirm it, is that there's going to be like 5 dings. Like you're going to hear like 5 bells essentially, and then you just count the bells, and whatever number bell you hear or see an add-on or see a rune, that's when you click that rune to like assign.
Verisa war die Friedensstifterin der Familie. Sie hat sich lange um den Garten hier gekümmert, doch jetzt ist er überwuchert.
One rune is uploaded into Aura, and you didn't see rune number 2. There's no way to assign rune number 3 that you know the right answer for rune number 3. You can't put the rune in the 3rd slot until the 2nd slot is assigned. So it's almost like hold that in your head, but there's only like a 5-second window, so if anybody misses that like second rune, it kind of like deteriorates the rest of the add-on. So that's my poorly long-winded answer, but essentially there's like a bell mechanic, and if there was a way for these add-ons to just assign what you know, like, oh, number 3's, X, or number 4 is T, like that would be better, but right now, I believe in this iteration, because of how Blizzard wrote the API, that's what's happening.
Mein Botschafter bringt euch Macht.
I'm assuming they go fully based on that timer, and then it can go like 1, 2, 3, and then on the 1, you can like, oh, there was an X, there's a 1, and then, so that you know exactly which one you are assigned. Yeah, if they basically, if it is what you're saying, which makes complete sense, that someone failed early on, and
then it all just messes up.
Yeah,
the entire thing comes crashing down.
Yeah, you can't touch the line in that order of operations. Like maybe instead of a bell, maybe there's 1, 2, 3, and if the 2 doesn't get uploaded, then if I had 3, then I'm like just sitting around with my rune knowledge, like good luck, everybody.
Yeah. But hopefully they can fix it. I'm assuming. I'm seeing importing weak or 2 on the screen every 2 seconds. I'm assuming they're trying to fix it.
Yeah, they're trying to. I mentioned that. This is just. Well, look, it really brings me back, doesn't it? Like this is just how it used to be. Like we're so back, guys. We're fiddling around with weak auras on a hard boss.
Die sanften Töne meiner Harfe brachten Verisa viel Freude. Ich brauche dieses Relikt.
A little bit of like feel for actually interacting with it. Because it's not automatic, right? That's the thing, right?
Mein
You have to
Botschafter
click something, right, in order to do that. So it is going to take some while to do. It's going to take a while to use this tool to quickly explain the memory game? Yeah, we absolutely can. So basically, what's going to happen? The boss is going to show you symbols, right? And it's giving you an order, right? And the boss will then do a beam, and you must make sure that the beam hits the players who are marked with those symbols in the order that matches what the boss showed you. Otherwise, kaboom. Now, on Mythic, there's actually a couple of complications. The first complication is that you're kind of divided into two realms. Guess what? You don't see all the symbols, right? Like players in one realm see some of the symbols, players in another realm see other symbols. So the kind of idea there is to communicate with each other. We're communicating with each other using the magical power of add-ons. Feels good. You want to see that. And the other complicator who are, and this is truly down. Like the dev who made this was laughing, okay, while they coded it, let's tell you. The direction of the beam is, it alternates, if I'm not mistaken, actually, on Mythic. I think it alternates. I don't think it's random. I think it is actually consistent.
Nun, dieser Drachenfalke hat wohl meine Harfe gestohlen. Kampflos lässt er euch nicht heran.
Oh, we did it! We've got the order! We succeeded! Let's go! A memory game! And then the beam goes in the other direction.
Ein
Kills
williges
everyone.
Opfer
Very
wurde
funny.
vorbereitet.
Extremely funny, actually. See that happen. Run around that. Again,
Defensive.
think about it in reverse.
Pushback incoming.
It's one of those things, again, where I'm like... Is that part of the fun of the difficulty of the boss, you know what I mean? Like,
When the boss
this
trolls you.
yeah, I mean, the boss is extremely hard, it is. But, like, those types of... That's not the hard part of the mechanics. It's like, oh, you go one way, but the other way, you know? Yeah, I understand. It's not the crazy thing, it's not the offensive but it's...
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you don't know about it, like you have... Look, what did you run in?
Defensive.
Oh, we have a problem with Rico's arm.
Yeah, so it's double. 1 and 2 are both keys.
Maybe you got a problem with
No.
Defensive.
Very cool, though. It's the first time we saw the add-on actually have the icons inside of those designated, you know.
Pushback incoming.
So, a little bit of progress. Not super excited about the juicy of double T's and double squares there. That can be very confusing.
So that's like either someone like spamming the button, or it's two different people pressing it, and then it records them as like one
Mein
and two. That's not
Botschafter
right. Like
bringt
it was
euch
supposed to be
Macht.
T in position 1, but then
Ergreift
someone
sie.
else pressed T as well for twice, and then it became T on one end, and then
Defensive. Defensive.
Erinnert mich an Louisa. Auch meine Schwester wurde wild, wenn ihre Familie in Gefahr war.
I guess it's like the order that you would
Suchen wir das nächste Relikt.
pop your orb, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like if you accidentally click the macro, it would add you to that rote list, and it was very confusing for everybody. They didn't know.
Sylvanas wollte nie Waldläufergeneralin sein, gab für diese Aufgabe jedoch alles, sogar ihr Leben.
Love y'all, right? So people didn't like pivotal for that exactly. It's not fun to sit and wipe on a boss because you're on Chirac Mythic and 9 of your players, 10 of your players have to press macro if they're purple and one guy won't because you can't fly. Like that's not fun. So people are like, we don't like this, blah blah blah. Fix it. They're like, yes, we're fixing it. Move all add-ons. And then you made a mechanic that forces people to communicate through different realms to sort a range of like things.
Sie übte mit einem Bogen, den unsere Mutter ihr schenkte. Fanatische Untote wollten ihn und ihre sonstige Habe plündern.
X, 1, 1X, 1, 1,
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can use TeamSpeak, you can use Mumble, Discord, and of course the wonderful wizard in-game audio.
I can tell you right now what will happen first before all of that happens. If you have like the raid leader sitting with all 20 POVs, looking at every single thing, then writing down on a piece of paper, like triangle, T, X, circle, and then they have just pictures of that, and you would have it on your screen. That would happen 10 times before they are saying, oh, let's communicate this via voice.
And you have to notify which direction the beam goes. You have to like almost like remember which direction the beam should go. To your point, you're remembering what the order is and which direction the beam should be going.
I think this is kind of a right? Like this boss is, you know, would say, how good are you really? Okay, yeah, maybe it needs to be slow. Maybe that mechanic is a little too fast.
Ein williges Opfer wurde vorbereitet.
Ultra add-on. I think it's one of those. In that case, if something like this happens again, then they would probably be slow. But I think that's kind of the point. Like the point of this raid is like, okay, well, what actually is possible? Like, what's too easy? What's too like, how different? How fast can we make this? Like, you know, with the kicks, with no kick assignment Recora, how fast can we make this memory game without some kind of educational add-on thingy, like help people along? I don't hate it. Like, if you're gonna make something borderline impossible, what better place to do it than the race?
I mean, I like the optimism, for sure. I will be I'm not the pessimist. I just think that if you want to go into a world where you're not using add-ons and not using resource, which I am probably for more than against, but then don't make mechanics that more or less not force you. That's the wrong way. If it's easier to solve than it is to solve, I think that's wrong way to test it in the first grade. You know what I mean? Like, I've said,
Dieser
you know what I mean?
Bogen
Like,
bedeutete Sylvanas einst alles. Ich werde ihn brauchen.
Ein williges Opfer
I really
wurde
like this
vorbereitet.
UI because I could finally see like
Pulonir.
the healing and the damage and the coordination. Most people don't have those bars.
Defensive.
So you can kind of see like the magic here.
We're locked in.
Ads coming.
Here we go.
Test it. Success. There we go.
Pulonir.
Wonderful. Oh, we danced with the beam there. There are beams that come out of that beam well, and it does give you a little bit of visibility before the beams become active. Do those beams at the center engage direction as well?
Was soll das denn?
Okay, look alive.
Get ready.
Pulonir.
I believe. We're here.
Defensive.
But I did hear on
Ads coming.
first
Ein williges
the
Opfer
direction
wurde
of the
vorbereitet.
boss is actually indicated by the direction combination. Like that, I don't know if that's true.
Pulonir.
I heard it on a stream, and therefore it must be
I mean,
true,
we
right?
can try to confirm it at least.
Yeah, we can.
Would make sense.
I don't know if it's the beam that comes from out of the moon wall or
Oh,
from
the boss. Yeah, the boss. Like
Allura
with the
themselves.
mountain.
I think it's from the boss itself.
Yeah.
So I think I heard that as well, but let's definitely check it out and see if the ads termination. The ads you have to interrupt, they're the ones that are moving around.
Pulonir.
Sylvanas konnte eitel sein und wurde gern bewundert, aber Anbetung wollte sie nie. Kommt, uns fehlt noch ein Relikt.
In BOD, Mechatork in BOD, you
Ah,
have this
yes.
like mechanic with the robots. That's a perfect mechanic that I actually think is easier to solve than it is to do with the complicated weak aura. Because then it was like you had 3 people in a robot. They could not see their own color above their head, but they had buttons. They had to click someone else told you. And the timing was basically you got in and one guy called the other two. So you said like, recall, red, green, then you just go, and then when you guys are done, someone calls for me and then you're done. That one is probably easier to solve with comms than it is to build. That's kind of what I want to do.
Mein Botschafter bringt euch Macht.
Icons, and you could only see the icons above somebody else's head when you physically were also in a tiny robot / I do remember that. That was I agree. That was that was a lot of fun.
I'm trying to think about it. I feel like what's maybe causing this to be quite difficult to solve without the assistance of an add-on is actually the fact that I think it's random who goes down into the shadow realm, right? And I feel like that's the issue because on the road, what you can do is actually you can do kind of like harder things. You can say, right, you, place a marker where your symbol goes. So you can have, let's say I would play square, right? I'm always putting square, so I'm looking out for what order.
Aleria hat die alte Horde mit geradezu besessenem Eifer gejagt. Sie hatten mich getötet und unsere Heimat verwüstet. Eine von Alerias Speerkarten ist drin. Sie hat wohl die rachsüchtigen Geister von damals angelockt, aber wir brauchen sie.
That is not ideal. Yeah, that's going to make things a little bit more complicated. So yeah, like this. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm not going
Ein williges Opfer wurde vorbereitet.
Not that I'm signing up for.
Ich muss näher ran.
One here. Like we know that for a fact. We know that tanks don't get chosen. Tanks are always in the normal round. We know that people with seeds don't go down. And then we also know that it's like one healer plus like 4 DPS. So in theory, like this could be I could see in a world where healers are in charge of kind of organizing what these rings are.
I mean that's probably what you do, right? You pick the least and most common denominator and you say like that one, so yeah, I mean either would make things like that regard, yeah. And then you just have someone that's like either double you back up.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't, but if you're in the normal round, you probably just have the cake because all it's doing is having its back against the pillar right? And dodging. I mean, dodging the first wave of waves is necessary, right? It's like incredibly. What is happening here? We have dancing? Okay. Yeah, it looked like we had a little confusion of which room is first there. I'm shuffling.
Ein williges
farther and farther
Opfer
to the right of our
wurde
screen.
vorbereitet.
Yeah, I guess the reason I'm a little bit optimistic about this to an extent is I think I love the add-on discussion. It's so good because I feel like one of the reasons why we go to add-ons is because that's like
Windläufer, ihr werdet büßen!
Defensive.
and that means we never see
Schmeckt meine Äxte!
Run
I
out.
think it is a major mistake. Oh, okay, this is a mechanic.
Stack.
Verheeren!
And that's something that people have said a lot about various things throughout the and honestly, sometimes that's probably
Defensive.
good luck with it about, but
Spürt meine Klingen!
Run out.
we haven't really seen how
Ads coming.
Greift sie!
mechanics, because you can just go, oh, well, I have right? So
Aus dem Weg!
Mein Botschafter bringt euch Macht.
the robot can do it.
Ergreift
Endlose Wut!
scenario as well, right? Like let's say they just ban you cannot make stuff or whatever. And then it just talked about before then you just make an overlay.
Defensive.
Because like yes, it might be that what
Report them.
Spürt meine Klinge!
Run out.
We have learned to play World of Warcraft.
Stack.
And some of these mechanics we might overcomplicate and create add-ons for them. But every time it comes to like high intense moment where a lot of people have
Defensive.
writing stuff down right? Whether that is in
Ads coming.
reminded on your screen to pick up your crystal, like have 10 steps like you said, solve the memory game for you, follow where you need to go.
Aus dem Weg!
Ein williges Opfer wurde vorbereitet.
In today's day and age, a lot there to think about. And
Defensive.
come to this scenario where how long have you been playing? 45 minutes?
Schmeckt meine Äxte!
Run out.
Like, that's the work with it. So
Stack.
this is like a way to work. They have people
Auf den Boden!
these out there, you know? Like this mechanic cannot work this way for the top 100 or 100. Like it's
Defensive.
Geschafft. Eine Aufgabe bleibt noch.
Mechanic. You can there is a reality where you will be assigned a rune.
Ich sorge mit diesen Relikten wieder für Frieden. Vielleicht kehren meine Schwestern dann zu mir zurück. Da! Das rastlose Herz, das uns heimsucht. Bitte schenkt ihm Ruhe.
Tell other people and share that information in rapid succession. Like that's just the reality. Like you can't. How would you be able to respond to something you've never seen before?
Watch your step.
And the reason the add-on is really nice is because it's a way to share the information, but more importantly, when you take that mental load off of the group of not having to remember the
Get knocked upward.
game, I guess it's silly to say, but once you take that like memory out of everyone's head, it becomes like a shared resource where it's like,
Ein
like an out on the
williges
screen.
Opfer
You're able to
wurde
focus more on
vorbereitet.
making sure your character is positioned in the order instead of having to like, you know, pixel stack. Right?
Watch
Like,
your step.
Also, like it's not just like the memory game is. It's not like a one-time mechanic. The mechanic is happening.
Defensive.
Blades bouncing around.
Move to arrow.
About this boss is that we're, you know, it's a circular room, and the blades are obviously bouncing off the walls, and there's lots of area denial, and it's going all over the place like crazy. But the thing that's scary about this boss fight is that the memory game might be happening great, and you might not see a glaive for the entire memory game, but like the moment it's time to like execute the memory phase and repeat the symbols back to the boss for the laser beam, suddenly the glaives have traveled from afar.
Get knocked upward.
And now they're like right where you are on top of the boss room. So it's almost like then you gotta like dodge. And I know for some melee it's really tough to like. Sometimes the safest position you can take in order to save like the order of the rune is to take a step back or away from the boss. So you don't want to
Watch your step.
That's my very long explanation.
Defensive.
Ein williges Opfer
Move to arrow.
wurde vorbereitet.
Writing down the exact information before you make sure that everyone's like screaming out what people are supposed to do, repeating to make sure that everyone got what they want, because it's not enough to just say like circle, triangle, T, like X, because then you also have to do like circle, triangle, T, X,
Get knocked upward.
like, because people need to see it. And the one thing that they're like you're saying, they have to do someone else. at the same time. You're almost gonna miss that. Wait, did you say right on before that one? It's fun.
It's an extremely hard mechanic. You can see that we're obviously messing around. Working correctly, so we can get
Endlich
this consistency. It's
haben
gonna be
die
so cool.
Geister aus
Right,
diesen
it's one of the
Hallen
first things
Frieden
we talked
gefunden.
about, right, was, oh yeah,
Hoffentlich
it's phase
können
one,
meine
right?
Schwestern
Not
das
like
eines
you get to
Tages
the end
auch.
of the boss and you have to do this a
Was
couple of
mich
times.
angeht,
No, every
ich
single time you
erfülle
pull the
diese
boss,
Hallen mit
you're gonna have to
Musik,
do this.
bis sie heimkehren.
So
I mean,
getting
I'm
as
pretty
Dank,
sure
close as
Champions.
possible is a huge deal.
I'm pretty sure also in last phase you don't pop the like notes by the boss swinging a beam, right? On Mythic you pop the notes by like colliding with each other or something. Now I don't know if that means like you have one in the down phase and one in the up phase and they're standing on top of each other and that means colliding and then you pop it. But then basically you have to do the memory game again, which I'm assuming will be with incomplete information like it is now in P1. And then you also have to stand on top of each other with the correct guy. Yeah. And you cannot connect then with another person, right? Because if a square collides with a circle, then you're gonna pop circle when you're supposed to pop square, so you have to probably pop like square with another square, if that's how it's gonna be. So, I mean, we're not only gonna see this now, we're gonna see this something we're having. I don't know exactly how that mechanic will work, obviously, because we're not seeing it.
1,000 calls.
Ein williges
Yeah, I mean, it's
Opfer
fight.
wurde vorbereitet.
I think what's interesting is how
Nächstes
will-
Mal habt ihr nicht
like
so
how will
viel
Blizzard
Glück.
actually handle this? Like, let's imagine the scenario. Okay, we're getting to another reset, right? Like it's about to reset. Like Liquid are getting ready for another fun bout of Mythic splits, and the pull count's like 600. Like, and it's going down, but it's taking a long time. Like, what do we think Blizzard would do in that situation? Are they just gonna say, yeah, well, you guys wanted it to be difficult. Good luck, right? Like, yeah, you got what you wanted, I guess. I guess my question is, like, do we think they're actually likely to adjust this before it actually dies, or are they just gonna leave it and see what happens?
I don't know, because it's kind of like, usually when we see the nerfs, it's that mathematically nerfs make sense. But from this point, basically, yeah, you can nerf stuff so it doesn't do as much damage, but it's mechanically very difficult. And pulling the trigger on a big mechanic change, it doesn't happen that often in the race. Like, usually when we see nerfs, it's like, oh, this mechanic does X amount less damage, boss has X amount less health. So I'm really not sure. I mean, I guess we're all eager to find out. Because they're making progress, it's just a little bit slow.
I mean, the number is going down. Like, we haven't encountered anything that appears to be insurmountable, right? Like, there's just absolutely no way you can get past this. Oh, here we go. Oh, we are. It's not working. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Like, the shapes are too hard. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I give up.
I definitely think that Blizzard will eventually make some tweaks if this boss does in fact go into a second reset. I can see guilds definitely extending this encounter, and I do not see us defeating Beleren again unless the loot's just too juicy. But the fact that a lot of the deaths are one shots, I can see that Blizzard may or may not shift a few things. It's, for me,